The strongest people are not those who show strength in front of us, but those who fight battles we know nothing about. A good laugh and a long sleep are the two best cures for anything. One of the many lessons that one learns in prison is that things are what they are and will be what they will be. There are many harsh lessons to be learned from the gambling experience, but the harshest one of all is the difference between having fun and being smart. When I was younger, I started taking singing lessons and dance and acting. I just started acting first because that's how everything happened. I've never taken vocal lessons. My early trumpet training and a fortunate talent for singing has always been enough for me. In the case of rock singing, I've always felt it was better to remain a bit untrained to maintain your individuality. No one who ever had lessons would have a swing like mine. Lessons are not given, they are taken. Running taught me valuable lessons. In cross-country competition, training counted more than intrinsic ability, and I could compensate for a lack of natural aptitude with diligence and discipline. I applied this in everything I did. Learn first, teach later. Your self-respect has to be stronger than your feelings. The biggest lessons I learned were probably the times where I had the biggest setbacks and the biggest challenges, when I had the biggest jumps forward and lessons learned. Excellence is a better teacher than mediocrity. The lessons of the ordinary are everywhere. Truly profound and original insights are to be found only in studying the exemplary. Being alone gives us an opportunity to reconnect with ourselves. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood. Don't tell your friends that you're happy. Don't make them angry. Don't tell your enemies that you're unhappy. Don't make them happy. Do not let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do. Never compete with someone who has nothing to lose. The lessons of the past are ignored and obliterated in a contemporary antagonism known as the generation gap. Life is often very ambiguous. Sometimes there isn't a right or wrong decision or choice. Things are not always completely clear. You may not get the answer, so you just have to wing it. Ask no questions, and you'll be told no lies. One of the lessons that I grew up with was to always stay true to yourself and never let what somebody else says distract you from your goals. To lead an orchestra, you must turn your back on the crowd. The lessons from the peace process are clear. Whatever life throws at us, our individual responses will be all the stronger for working together and sharing the load. Develop success from failures. Discouragement and failure are two of the surest stepping stones to success. I learned everything the hard way, like literally everything. I know that God does that to people that He has lessons for. I just wish that I had learned less extreme lessons. Be equally indifferent to blame and praise. We should not look back unless it is to derive useful lessons from past errors and for the purpose of profiting by dearly bought experience. Don't blame the child for forgetting lessons. Make the lessons unforgettable. You don't get extra marks for putting up with people you dislike. Poverty can teach lessons that privilege cannot. Time flies. One day you are 30, the next you are 50. Plan now for what you want 50 to look like. Bad habits are like a comfortable bed, easy to get into, but hard to get out of. The biggest lessons I've learned in life have probably come from a bad situation, from an angry situation, even if I wasn't the one who was angry. Sonny Liston is nothing. The man can't talk. The man can't fight. The man needs talking lessons. The man needs boxing lessons. And since he's gonna fight me, he needs falling lessons. Our mothers give us so many gifts. They give us the precious gift of life, of course, but they also leave treasured lessons that can guide us along our journeys even when they are no longer with us. Being lonely and being alone are different things. How much money does it take to make a man happy? Just one more dollar. The teacher is the one who gets the most out of the lessons, and the true teacher is the learner. Even the accomplished suffers setbacks sometimes. The more bitter the lessons, the greater the successes will be. There are no mistakes or failures, only lessons. Stay patient. The best things happen unexpectedly. Learning lessons is a little like reaching maturity. You're not suddenly more happy, wealthy, or powerful, but you understand the world around you better, and you're at peace with yourself. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. There never exists a relationship without self-interest. In short, every one of us for sure is selfish. To realize that you are not your thoughts is when you begin to awaken spiritually. Stupid is the man who always remains the same. One of the lessons of history is that nothing is often a good thing to do and always a clever thing to say. There are a lot of lessons to be learned. We can all learn lessons. Turn your wounds into wisdom. The lessons I learned from the dark days at Alibaba are that you've got to make your team have value, innovation, and vision. Also, if you don't give up, you still have a chance. And when you are small, you have to be very focused and rely on your brain, not your strength. Don't be too proud to take lessons. I'm not. Life is a one-time offer. Use it well. Mistakes are a part of being human. Appreciate your mistakes for what they are. Precious life lessons that can only be learned the hard way, unless it's a fatal mistake, which at least others can learn from. I am not someone who is ashamed of my past. I'm actually really proud. I know I made a lot of mistakes, but they, in turn, were my life lessons. Don't die until you're done. Knowledge isn't power until it is applied. Forgiveness is not for the other person, it's for your peace of mind. I take all of my life lessons, which some people might call mistakes, and apply them to my future so that I keep growing. I can't put this down. I am reading it in Spanish, but I am still having English lessons. It is a motivational book about basketball legend Michael Jordan. His determination was inspiring. It helps me focus and drives me on. You train people how to treat you unconsciously or not. Have you learned the lessons only of those who admired you and were tender with you and stood aside for you? Have you not learned great lessons from those who braced themselves against you and disputed passage with you? A river cuts through rock, not because of its power, but because of its persistence. Never let others know your weaknesses. Instead, always try to show up your positives. How others see you is not important. How you see yourself means everything. It's better to be alone than in bad company. Work at your job and make a living. Work on yourself and make a fortune. All honest work is good work. It is capable of leading to self-development, provided the doer seeks to discover the inherent lessons and makes the most of the potentialities for such growth. We all learn lessons in life. Some stick, some don't. I have always learned more from rejection and failure than from acceptance and success. Striving for success without hard work is like trying to harvest where you haven't planted. Every book you pick up has its own lesson or lessons, and quite often the bad books have more to teach than the good ones. Acceptance and tolerance and forgiveness, those are life-altering lessons. I've always been involved in music, whether it be taking piano lessons or something. I always have. Treat your parents as you would like your children to treat you. All the lessons are in nature. You look at the way rocks are formed, the wind and the water hitting them, shaping them, making them what they are. Things take time, you know. I think in every lesson there's a blessing, and there's so many blessings from all the lessons I've had to go through in life. Do not shake the green apple tree. When the apple is ripe, it will fall down by itself. Wisdom and penetration are the fruit of experience, not the lessons of retirement and leisure. Great necessities call out great virtues. Slow down and think about the lessons of the elders. Be kind to people without allowing them to take advantage of your good nature. The world belongs to the patient. All the lessons of history in 4 sentences, whom the gods would destroy. The mills of God grind slowly, but they grind exceedingly small. The bee fertilizes the flower it robs. When it is dark enough, you can see the stars. It's fine to celebrate success, but it is more important to heed the lessons of failure. Never expect too high. The more you expect when it doesn't meet your expectation, the more it's gonna hurt. In order to love who you are, you cannot hate the experiences that shaped you. Most people are a complete waste of time. Fairy tales are more than true, not because they tell us that dragons exist, but because they tell us that dragons can be beaten. Take your financial life seriously. Money is a defense to a lot of challenges. Men are moved by 2 levers only: fear and self-interest. Someone once told me the meaning of hell. On your last day on the earth, the person you became will meet the person you could have become. He who is satisfied with his lot is rich. Just trust your instincts. Gut feelings can sometimes save you from big troubles. The shortest and surest way of arriving at real knowledge is to unlearn the lessons we have been taught, to mount the first principles, and take nobody's word about them. There's so much power in allegory to form ideas and learn lessons that you can actually take and apply to real life. I think that's why I originally really loved fantasy and reading. That's the reason they're called lessons, because they lessen from day to day. I don't have regrets. There are only lessons. You learn from them, and you become a better person. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a harder battle. And we are never too old to study the Bible. Each time the lessons are studied, comes some new meaning, some new thought which will make us better. Never attribute to malice that which can be adequately explained by stupidity. There are no shortcuts to any place worth going. The heaviest burden we carry is the weight of our expectations. The oldest, shortest words, yes and no, are those which require the most thought. There are no regrets in life, just lessons. Efforts never go in vain. He who builds on the people builds on the mud. Don't let people know too much about you. There's no point in being grown up if you can't act a little childish sometimes. You reflect on the people who used to be in your life, and it's like, wow, I can't believe that person was ever really in my life. But people are put into your life for seasons, for different reasons, and to teach you lessons. The best way to gain self-confidence is to do what you are afraid to do. No one in this world will stand up for you like the way your parents do. Always be there for them. You don't have to be great to start, but to become great, you just have to start. Life is a succession of lessons which must be lived to be understood. All is riddle, and the key to a riddle is another riddle. You never know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have. Any man can make mistakes, but only an idiot persists in his error. To put everything in balance is good. To put everything in harmony is better. A woman never refuses to have sex with the man who is fascinated by his sensuality. I'm so grateful for all the experiences I've had. The life lessons I've learned along the way are just completely invaluable. Sometimes, life's so much cooler when you just don't know any better, and all the painful lessons have not hammered your head open yet. Be grateful. That's one of the most important lessons in life, I think, is to just be grateful for every minute, every moment. It is better to light one small candle than to curse the darkness. If you're not happy with yourself, you'll never be happy in a relationship.